भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये। नश्वप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी. So we did this verse, previous verse. We just continue the strength from there. जन्मैश्वर्या श्रुता श्रीवी
जन्मैश्वर्या श्रुता श्रीवी वेदमानमदपुमा
न एव अर्ति अभिधातुं वै त्वाम किञ्चन गोचरम्.
जन्मैश्वर्या श्रुता श्रीवी वेदमानमदपुमा
न एव अर्ति अभिधातुं वै त्वाम किञ्चन गोचरम्. So it's a very famous verse. Now they have to make Abhishek arrangement, so darshan will close for 20 minutes now. Janma Aishwarya. Now the point is that this is the source of satisfaction. We are discussing this verse before we started the Aarti. Our source of satisfaction should only be devotional service to the Lord. If anything else becomes the primary, at least it should not become the primary. If anything else becomes the primary source of our satisfaction, we are in trouble. What are the things? Janma, birth becomes the source of satisfaction. Oh, I am born to this family. Aishwarya, oh, I am so opulent. That becomes the source of satisfaction. That is also not good. Then how will you seek? If these things make us complacent, they will not allow us to fully, feelingly pray to Krishna. And so therefore, Queen Kunti says that these things should not be a source of satisfaction. My real satisfaction is if I can sincerely be engaged in the devotional service to Krishna. And Krishna is a lovable personality, and if I sincerely advance in devotion to Krishna, that will make me satisfied. So this is what this verse goes. Now let us go to the next verse. Namo akinchana vittaya nivritta gunavritte atmaramaya shantaya kaivalya pataye namaha. Everybody can chant. Namo Kinchana Vittaya Nivritta Gunavritte Atmaramaya Shantaya Kaivalya Patihe Namaha. Namo Akinchana Vittaya Nivritta Gunavritte Atmaramaya Shantaya Kaivalya Patihe Namaha. So after she says that if these are the sources of satisfaction, Janma Aishwarya Shruta Shri, and you become some kind of satisfaction, I've achieved something, because in the society, in this stupid society, foolish society, these things are source of satisfaction. So sometimes what happens, we just go along the bit. Oh, people say your life is successful because you got such a nice mobile. People say your life is successful. These people have made all these landmarks. You should have this mobile, you should have this car, you should have such house in this area, you should have house, you should have this degree. And when you achieve that degree, there is a joke. Once what happened that, there was, people decided to do a circus. So what they did, they called everybody and they put publicity like what we did all over the town. And people came. And they said only one person is allowed to see circus at one time. Strange kind of circus. So, okay. So people were waiting all outside. Just imagine in the auditorium we are allowing only one person to come at a time. Doors closed. Nobody can see what is happening inside. So the person came inside. After that, say a few people are there who are organizing the circus. So he asked, what your magic you are showing me? So all the people surrounded him and started slapping him. So that person became very upset, very angry. And then what happened? That person started shouting, I paid for seeing the circus and you are doing all this to me. I'm going to complain here, complain there. Red-facedly rushed out. When he reached the gate, at the gate, huge queue was waiting. So they asked him, how was the circus? You know what he replied? Very nice, go. We are exactly same. We have achieved somehow, by hook and crook or whatever way, some landmark in our life. And we know, whatever position we are, how much beating is going on, slapping is going on. We are either studying in college, or student slapping is going on, or we are working, so many difficulties, slapping is going on, boss is firing, or this problem, always some problems. But we don't look at that. We don't look at the reality, the difficulties I am facing. We don't look at the reality that without Krishna I am so suffocated. We don't look at this reality. Correct? We don't look at that reality. But we just look at this foolish society which is clapping. Hey, you achieved this landmark. And we say, suppose you go to meet the chief minister. You will say, go for interview. See how was it? And how you have achieved this position now. He will say, yes, I worked hard, I did this and then I did that. Go to anybody. If successful some cricket star, how is it that you achieved it? Yeah, you should know. He will not admit that all this position is not giving him 1 ounce of happiness. He will not admit that, which is a fact. He will not admit that. Correct? So these things should not be a source of satisfaction for us. It will be absolute foolishness. Rather, a devotion to Krishna is satisfaction. And here now she is saying, Namo Akinchana Vittaya. My Lord, you are the property of the people who have nothing to possess. We have something to possess, correct? I possess this, I possess this. Then Krishna is not your possession. You have to throw everything away. It may be there. I'm not saying now you become a beggar tomorrow. No. It may be there, but it is not possession. Just like a richest man may be thoroughly renounced. Yudhishthira Maharaj, you all know, the great king, thoroughly renounced. When he came to know just one message, that Krishna has winded his pastime and he has left for Vaikuntha, he walked out of the palace. At that time, Yudhishthira Maharaj did not look at even his wife, Draupadi, or the 4 Pandavas who had worked hard to get in the kingdom. No. Without Krishna, how one would live? You all know the story, he just walked out and started walking. That means he was ruling just as a duty. Correct? So somebody may have 1 rupee and he can be fully attached to that rupee. Somebody can have crores and no attachment. This is I'm just telling philosophically, Namo Akinchana Vittaya. So Krishna is a property of the people who have nothing to possess. Nivritta Gunavrittaye. Atma Ramaya Shantaya. Nivritta is free from all the modes of material nature, liberated from them. Atma Ramaya Shantaya. Completely who are, my Lord, who are completely peaceful. Atma Ramaya. They are fully satisfied in yourself. Kaivalya Pataye Namaha. Okay? Read the translation. My obeisances are unto you who are the property of the materially impoverished. You have nothing to do with the action and reaction and the material modes of nature. You are self-satisfied. Atma Ramaya. Shantaya. You are most gentle, peaceful. Kaivalya Pataye Namaha. And you are master of the monas. Next. Manne tvam kalameshanam anani nidanam vibhu samam charantam sarvatra bhutanam yanmita kali manne tvam kalameshanam anani nidanam vibhu samam charantam sarvatra bhutanam yanmita kali. Yes. My Lord, I consider your Lordship to be eternal time, the supreme controller, without beginning and end, the all-pervasive one. In distributing your mercy, you are equal to everyone. The dissension between living beings are due to social intercourse. Let us meditate on the last line, the dissension between living entities. The Lord is all-pervasive, beginningless. This you all understand. Now, what is all this? Dissension. See, what happens? The kingdom of God is so wonderful. When somebody tries to create disturbance, he is disturbed. You cannot disturb anybody. Don't think just like in a college setup. If some child tries to be mischievous, he is the one who is punished. Now here we keep pointing finger at each other. Sir, just like Prahlad Maharaj was protected by Krishna, Hiranyakashipu could do nothing. Everybody is protected by Krishna. There is no need to find, he is causing the disturbance, he is causing the disturbance. No, sir. You are the cause of your own disturbance. There is no need to waste time on that. Then we sit down and find fault with everybody. In fact, Bhagavatam says, if somebody gives you even pain, he is going to go to hell. But if you point finger at him, this man is giving him pain, you also go to hell with him. Why is it so? The reason is this, that any situation in this world is under Krishna's control. If you are placed in a particular situation, it is not because of that man, it is because that situation for you was sanctioned by the Lord. It's a complete mystic wonder of the Lord. He can do thousands of things at one time. Millions of jivas, trillions of jivas are having at one time strange situation. Trillions of jivas at one time. This is the wonder actually. And each person is having that situation which is good for him. So each person is having a situation at that time which is best for him. What a wonder it is. So we cannot, sometimes we try to see, this person is creating trouble. No, sir. Nobody. Just locate it. So nobody can cause trouble for anybody actually. This is a fact. Whatever situation I am placed, Krishna is in complete control. Just like Prahlad Maharaj, Hiranyakashipu wanted to kill him. There was a sanction to kill him. Do whatever you want, he could do not touch it. If you have given this faith that every situation is placed by the Lord for my own self-purification, He can do this for millions of people at one time. Today we cannot do that. We have no powers. We think of one person and neglect another person. Krishna has the power. He is the Supreme Father, Supreme Controller. Have this faith that whatever situation I am in, it is for my own purification. Now you may say, I was driving in the car and somebody came and hit me. Now he is responsible for my suffering. No, sir. That suffering was due to you at that time. And Krishna knows everybody very well. Just like we know a friend within 1 month what he is up to. Krishna knows this fellow is drunk, usually gets drunk and drives rashly. We bring him on that road because he is Paramatma in the heart of everybody. Go there, you'll suddenly feel an inspiration. Go there. And this fellow creates a karma and you just bear the reaction of your past karma. Correct? So we cannot identify. This is a revolutionary statement in Bhagavatam. The identifier of the perpetrator also goes to the hell along with the perpetrator. If I say this man gave me suffering, he goes to hell definitely because he gave me pain. But if you do not understand that Lord sanctioned the situation for my own satisfaction, purification, you also go to heaven. This is a revolution. This can make any person very peaceful. Person becomes very sober. Otherwise they keep doing this dilly-dally. Why did you say like that? Why did you say like that? You did that. Be very peaceful. Krishna is in complete control. So he says, dissension between the dissension between living entities are due to social intercourse. Yeah, next. We are just discussing Queen Kunti's prayers there. Naved kashid bhagavan shikeshitam Taveha manasinina vidammanam Nayasya kashid daito asvikareche Dveshasya rasmina vishadamatirmrinam Dveshasya yasmina vishamatirmanam Oh Lord, no one can understand your transcendental pastimes, which appear to be human and are so misleading. You have no specific object of favor, nor do you have any object of envy. People only imagine that you are partial. Now Queen Kunti is coming to the area or Vidambana in the next few shlokas, bewildering. He says, you come to this world, you act like a normal person. Because Mother Yashoda used to chase Krishna and used to run as if his life is in danger and fully in fear and tension. So many things. So Krishna may act sometimes something like that. She's saying this creates Vidambana, my Lord. He had no object of favor. It looks Krishna favored Pandava in Mahabharata war. No. It's just like a judge. Now judge gives capital punishment to somebody, judge awards something to somebody. Is that something favored or unfavored? No. So God, the Supreme Father, is impartial. Even if He punishes somebody, it is for His good. He blesses somebody, that is also for His good. All good. Therefore Krishna consciousness is all good. And today, if some country produces, say, some crop more, it is good for them, bad for us. Okay? But Krishna consciousness is saying, it is good for everybody. There is no question now, anybody is at loss. It is so auspicious. Everybody benefits. Okay, so she is saying, there is some kind of bewilderment we get when you see your pastime because you act like a human being. Janma karma cha vishvatman ajasya karduratmana Tiryan rishishu yadashu tad atyanta vidammanam. Of course it is bewildering or soul of the universe that you work although you are inactive, that you take birth though you are the vital force and the unborn. You yourself descend among animals, men, sages and critics. Verily this is bewildering. So Krishna descends among the people. We know Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Yada yada dharmasya glani bhavati. And the very object, the very purpose is of descending on the Lord like Krishna descended about 5,000 years ago. In fact, she will come to that now. It's bewildering. Because he just looks like a human being. Why does he descend? That mystery she is going to come now. In Bhagavad Gita, what is given is actually an official reason. Just like sometimes when you meet somebody, this first person, somebody comes to meet you. You invite him into office. Some stranger meets you. Please, you don't invite him at home. Home is later when you know more about that person. Please come to my home, have dinner with my family. So Gita is like Krishna's office. He says, I am the Supreme Lord. I am your Supreme Father. You should obey me. Follow me. That is Bhagavad Gita. And you are not the body, your spirit, soul. These are the fun. Today morning we discussed the fundamental teachings of Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita teaches about the fundamental tattvas. And after hearing Bhagavad Gita, the result is, I am placed as a humble servant of the Lord. That means you read Bhagavad Gita. Otherwise, read again. Gita conclusion is what happened to Arjuna. Arjuna is the first student of Bhagavad Gita, correct? At least what Krishna has spoken, he says in Gita this message many times before. Arjuna is just like a science, it doesn't change, it is always same. But Krishna says, I am teaching you now. So let us look at Arjuna. After hearing Bhagavad Gita in the 9 chapters, in the 10th chapter, Arjuna says, Param Brahma, Param Bhava, Purusham Paramam Bhava. You are the Supreme Personality. He submits to himself as a servant of the Lord. And at the end of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, I told you so many things. Yathechasi tathakuru. You decide what you want to do. Arjuna says, Nashtamoham siddhim labdva tam prasada. My Lord, karishye vachanam tava. I will just follow what you are telling me. You see, this is a very unique instance. Nowhere you see anything like this. Everywhere, commandment, do this, do this. Now, these kind of instruction you give to who? Just like in a train, suppose the child is at the door. Small child. You don't explain to him philosophy. Hey, come on. You just drag him in. Because he cannot understand. So, commandments are given when the understanding capacity is limited. But Krishna does not do that to Arjuna. Arjuna said, I don't want to fight. Krishna did not shout at him. You see in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna smiles. What are you saying, Arjuna? And then he starts the philosophy of Bhagavad Gita. And after telling everything, he tells Arjuna, make a decision. What do you like to do? Arjuna says, I will fight. Correct? Same way at the door of the gate, suppose in the train, one person is standing who is educated. And you see it's dangerously in the corner of the gate. What do you tell him? You know what the speed train is going? Yeah, come on. So similarly, the message is very reasonable. And Bhagavad Gita places us at the feet of the Lord as a servant. Then the next book to read, what we recommend is Bhagavatam. Bhagavatam is 18,000 verses. Gita is 700 verses. Gita was spoken, it's a Krishna's. So many people tell us, I have no time to read Gita. Not correct. Arjuna heard Gita before the war. Can there be any situation more tension than that? Is it possible? Small tensions of ours are such that we say we have no time to read Gita. Arjuna had a war and he's a chief warrior. Whole army is looking at him to start the war. Conches are already blown. He said, wait a minute. First I want to hear Gita, then I'll fight. Correct? It's a very nice point. We should be very clear about this. Any situation demands us to understand Bhagavad Gita. And after we have understood Bhagavad Gita, we request everybody to enter to the message of Bhagavatam. Bhagavatam was spoken in 7 days. 7 days this message is spoken. In fact, Krishna knows Kalila people don't have time. So therefore he arranged Gita, a summary of the message of the whole Vedic knowledge, and all the great learned sages in India have acclaimed this work of Krishna. In a nutshell, he says everything in just half an hour. If you stand the verse of Gita, it's only half an hour. Bhagavatam was spoken in 7 days by son of Vedavyasa, that is Shukadeva Goswami, to grandson of Arjuna, that is Parikshit Maharaj. So in the Bhagavatam, many times people say, in the Vedic culture, women have no respect. This is Queen Kunti's prayer. Vedavyasa is a great renowned sage. Why is he writing down the prayers of a woman? It is not like that. Only the protection has to be given because physically they are a little weak. So therefore there is a sense of protection. There is no question of, just like a child is there. Now the parents are looking at him or keeping a watch at him. Doesn't mean they are exploiting the child. He needs protection. That's all. It's a simple system. So similarly now here we continue. She is saying now, she is given the position in Bhagavatam equal to any other Acharya. She is saying, my Lord, your activities look very bewildering. So why does Krishna appear? Now she will start saying. Now let us go to that as per the verses. Gopiyarade tvai kritatkritagyasi namatava yate dadarsha kalilangana samramaksham Vaktram niniya vayavanaya sadasya Samam mohayati viyapi yada viveti. This is a beautiful meditation. She is meditating now on Mother Yashoda chasing Krishna. What she says, my dear Krishna, Yashoda took up a rope to bind you when you committed an offense,
and your perturbed eyes overflooded with tears, which washed the mascara from your eyes. And you were afraid, though fear personified is afraid of you. This sight is removed from me. You know, everybody is afraid of the Lord. He is supreme, final authority. But when Mother Yashoda took a rope to bind him, he was shaking with fear and tears were coming from his eyes. She said, I just cannot understand this pastime. In fact, Queen Kunti does not have the privilege like Mother Yashoda. She is even more advanced in Gopi. So she is appreciating her position. And I only can offer respect at a distance to you. But Mother Yashoda has a privilege even to, some people say foolishly, I want to become God. Many people have that kind of an idea, strange idea. God is always God, dog is always dog. God does not become dog and dog cannot become God. So we are servants like a dog, servants of God. This crazy utopian idea, I'll become God, we have to give up. Take it. So now, forget about becoming God. We want to become Father of God, Mother of God and control Him. Look at this. Mother Yashoda is controlling God. Correct? She says to Krishna, come here, he comes running. Devotees have a privilege that even God comes under their control. This is very advanced. Generally people want God as a father. Or Father in heaven, Father. Father means take benefit. That's all. That's the approach for a father. But here, what is the approach? Want to become the mother. Why? Because then we get an opportunity to serve Krishna. Mother never has that emotion towards the child. What I am waiting from the child. Always want to give. So similarly, she is meditating on the privileged position of Yashoda, where she is able to even chase Krishna around. And she is actually, Krishna cannot be conquered. We are getting conquered by sincerity. This is what we need. Prabhupada used to say, tons of unsincerity and little sincerity, sincere desire to serve Krishna. That is more important than tons of unsincerity. Next. Kechit ahu adam jatam punya shokasya kirte yado priyaya svaye malayasyeva chandanam. Now you see the examples. Why Krishna is born is being revealed now. Higher than what you read in Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita is official reason. Yada yada dharma sanglani. That Krishna does not have to come. He can ask any one of the devatas to handle it. Correct? Krishna has many powerful devatas. One indication they will do the job. Any devata can do it. The Lord doesn't have to come from Vaikuntha to this world. Why does he come? So she says, some say, Kechit. Some say that the unborn, because Lord is unborn, He just takes birth. How Krishna took birth? He came in the heart of Vasudeva, then He came in the heart of Devaki, then He came out. Any one of us taken birth like that. Therefore He is called unborn. He is always unborn. Some say the unborn is born for the glorification of the pious kings, because when Krishna was born to Yadu dynasty got glorified. Not Krishna became glorified because of Yadu dynasty. Just like the example is, she is saying to please King Yadu. Yadu was a great king before in the dynasty. Just Krishna wanted to, he was very happy by his devotion service. So he chose to appear in the dynasty. We never choose to appear in any family. Correct? Krishna chose to appear in a particular family, and where he appears in that dynasty, that family is blessed. Just like Malaysia with Chandana. Chandan can grow anywhere. Now Malaysia they grow rubber. Previously there is a statement Malaya Chandana. So you have to historically study. Previously in heat summer people used to put Chandan. Now Chandan is not there only. Temples also have to get by some permission. But previously Chandan was amply available in tropical climate. You see any history, some statement even 500 years ago, they'll put Chandan. It's so hot. So Chandan will give you so coolness if you put. It's a tropical climate here. So because lot of Chandan is grown in Malaysia, it was called Malaya Chandan. But Chandan can grow anywhere. So similarly, Krishna is called Yadava. It's not that he is dependent on that. He chose to appear there. So therefore, Yadu dynasty became famous because of Krishna. Next. Now some say he was born to glorifying King Yadu. Now let us see other reason. Apare. So now, let us chant the shloka, Krishna's Bhagavatam word. Apare vasudevasya devakyam yachito abhyagat ajastvam asya kshemaya vadhaya cha suratusha. Next. Apare. Others said that since Vasudeva and Devaki prayed for you, you have taken your birth as their son. So you came to this world of Vasudeva Devaki of praying to have Lord as their son, therefore you appeared. Your birth has undoubtedly, you are unborn, you have to take birth for the welfare and kill those who are envious of the demigods. Yes. You kill the people who are envious of the demigods. Next. That is there. Paritrana sadhana, vinashaya dashkita. So people say like that. Bharavatārāranye Bhuvo nama ivo dado Sidanti puri bharena Jato yatamavartataha. Let us see one more reason. Higher and higher reasons are coming. Others say the world being overburdened like a boat at sea is much agreed, and that Brahma, who is your son, prayed for you, and you have appeared to diminish it. You know the story? Bhudevi approached Brahma that it's a hellish condition, please do something. And Brahma said, it's beyond my capacity to solve. Brahma started praying for the Lord, and the Lord came in his, he heard the message from the Lord, yes, I am coming in the dynasty here. So you came into this world because of Brahma's prayer. It is not the world is ungoverned. There is no need to become frantic like that. What will happen? Devatas are governing. We should do our duty to our best ability, not that we don't do anything now. But the world is controlled by the Devatas. Next. Bhave asmin klishmanana avidya kama karmihi Shravanasparanarani Karishyam iti kechana. And yet others say you appear to rejuvenate devotion service of hearing, remembering, worshipping and so on, in order that the conditioned soul suffering from the material facts might take advantage and gain liberation. One more reason. See, when Krishna comes to this world, what happens? That we get an opportunity to hear about his pastimes. Krishna arranges, just like when a big personality goes somewhere, there is somebody to record. Krishna arranges somebody like Vedavyasa is there. You see, it does not happen anywhere. The authenticity of the words of the Shastra is so high. Why? Because the personality was brought. He was also an incarnation of the Lord. Vedavyasa will record. Words are valuable. Similarly, if you see in the instance of Lord Rama, Valmiki was brought to record the words. And we are getting the benefit today of hearing about the Lord's pastime. This situation is not there anywhere in any other kind of religion. We have to just take some notes and club it together. There is nothing like an authorized personality to record. No comparison. Therefore we say this is Sanatana Dharma. Because Lord knows these instructions are important for all the time, for all the places. He gets it recorded. So yet others say you appeared so that the devotion service, because Lord did different activities, Krishna did so many activities. We hear about them, we remember them, we worship the Lord, and we are benefited. And we are saved because it is so pleasurable to hear the Lord's pastime. They're full of spiritual energy, that we feel relief from the pangs and sufferings of this world. Next. Shanvanti gayanti grinanti avikshana Swaranti nandanti davehita jana Taeva pashyanti achirena tavakam Mahapravaha param padambhajam. Now this is another one. Very beautiful. She says now here, see what happens? We have so many incarnations. Sometimes some people ask us, you Hare Krishna people, you only worship Krishna. Why you neglect? You never neglect. In fact, we have so many temples for Lord Rama and Narsimha, other incarnations of the Lord. But why there is still a specific focus on Krishna? Because Krishna allows the most intimate pastimes. Is it that Narasimhadeva allows mother to chase him with a stick? You don't hear Bali Leela of any incarnation. Have you heard anybody Bali Leela of any incarnation? Because any form of the Lord gives a distance from the devotee. He has to keep the awe and reverence. Krishna is the only incarnation where awe and reverence doesn't exist. Mother Yashoda can chase him. Just we hear coward boyfriends. Krishna was there, not among the priestly. Immediately went to the coward boys. They could play with him as if he is one amongst them. No awe and reverence. So this is a unique privilege Krishna gives to the devotees, and therefore they say there are 4 specific qualifications which even Vishnu does not show. There are 64 qualities Krishna shows, and Vishnu shows only 60. Vishnu or Narayana. 4 things are missing. One thing is very intimate pastimes. Just like we go to Tirupati Balaji. Narayana is distance and awe and respect. Krishna, we can hug him. You can even treat him like your son. Correct? So that is one, intimate pastime. Very intimate devotees for the intimate pastime. No incarnation can have such intimate devotees. And then, beauty. Krishna's beauty super excels all other forms of the Supreme Lord. It is same only, Advaita. Just like one candle you like another candle, both are of the equal power. But in the Krishna form, the same Lord allows so much intimacy, he allows great devotees he has, he excels all of the forms of beauty. And the 4th thing, therefore the Krishna name is Akarshan. Krishna name comes from, he attracts everybody's attention. And the 4th thing is Krishna's flute. Nobody plays flute. In heavens you will see Lord Rama playing flute or Narayana playing flute. Privilege of Krishna form. And the flute playing is not like what we sometimes imitate. No. When Krishna used to play flute, whole universe used to get stunned. Correct? It's another. When our Acharya asked, how is hearing Krishna's flute? He said, just like when you chant the holy names of the Lord, the same pleasure everybody gets. Next. Apiyajanastam swakarihchit prabhu jihasasi suhrido anuvardhana. Check Abhishek, how many minutes are there? We are having the Abhishek starting now. Kindly all of you attend. Just check. Okay, 5 minutes. 5 minutes is starting Abhishek. Kindly take part in it. First Abhishek was done by Mother Yashoda for Krishna. Personally for the Lord. Now we are also doing personally. In fact, deity is no way less. Deity is not an idol. Idol is something that we keep in the park. Some personality, and before the day every year we call the street cleaners. They clean all the face. They'll remove all the cow, also crow thing on the head, everything. And then next day morning garland is put and we forget. That is called idol worship. We don't do idol worship, we do deity worship. Deity are the recognized forms of the Lord as a Lord manifested in this world. And due to this science of Archa, the Lord form is designed accordingly, and the Lord is invited to accept that form. Okay? So therefore deities should be treated equal to the Lord. It is the Lord's omnipotency that He allows us to serve Him through His deity form. Therefore deities are called Archa Avatara. Just like we say Krishna Avatara, we say Archa Avatara. That's a science. Sometimes some people don't know that science. They say, no, why we should worship. Next. Let us go to the meaning. Oh my Lord, you have executed all duties yourself. Are you leaving us today, though we are completely dependent on your mercy and have no one else to protect us, now when all kings are at enmity with us? Now this is a devotee, she is a great devotee. Krishna has enthroned her children as the emperors of the world and is about to go to Dwaraka. She is saying, my Lord, please don't go. Just because we are in so-called comfortable position, we are not happy without you. Next. Kevayam nama rupabhyam यदुभी सह पांडवा भवतो दर्शनं यर्हि ऋषिकानाभिवेशितुः केवयं नाम रूपेण. What all these names and forms we get attached to? Yeah, let us continue. As a name and fame of a particular body is finished with the disappearance of the living spirit, similarly, if we do not look upon us, our fame and activities along with the Pandava Yadus will end at once. She is now saying, we are living, my Lord, by your grace. All of us should feel like that. Whatever condition we are in that condition by the grace of the Lord. Okay, so that is the meditation. She is saying, okay, what is all this name and fame? My Lord, if you do not look upon us, we are finished. Neyam shovishyate tatra yatedanim gadana tvatpadayankita bhati tvalakshana vilakshitai. O Gadadhara Krishna, our kingdom is now being marked by the impressions of your feet, and therefore it appears beautiful. But when you leave it, it will no longer be so. So she's saying, praying to the Lord, my Lord, it is because you are in our kingdom, because you are walking all around, and your lotus feet are touching the ground. So basically the meditation is, it is by the grace of the Lord, we are so opulent and situated as the emperors of the world. Similarly, again the same point, have this meditation that my position, whatever comfort I am having in this world is because of Krishna's grace. Ime janapada suvriddha supakshvashani virudha Vanadinadi udvanto yenante tava vikshitai. All these cities and villages are flourishing in all respects because of herbs and grains are in abundance, trees are full of fruits and the rivers are flowing. The hills are full of minerals and the ocean full of wealth. And this is all due to your glancing over. You see, this is a Vedic civilization. We know people who are not poor. Nanda Maharaj, when Krishna was born, on every occasion used to give unlimited cows, jewels, silk in charity. Today I heard and that even people make a plate, plastic plate. You know, we drink a juice, that what you throw, they catch that and they put some sticker and they put it. It's okay. This is the situation we are in. They were eating in golden plates at that time. It's not India was a poor country, it was a very rich country. But the wealth which has been talked about here is a natural wealth, which is sustainable. It's not that we can turn the world back in 1 second, but consciously we are aware, everybody is aware, that it is just like in a tree, suppose somebody is sitting and cutting the branch which is sitting, the whole civilization is going in the same way. It is unsustainable civilization. Correct? But nobody can stop it. It has to meet its own destruction, self-related destruction. Like that example of a fool sitting on the branch. We are destroying the very nature which sustains our life. Vedic civilization was not like that. It's a natural civilization. Wealth is in cows. Wealth is in grain. You see, she is talking about that. She is not saying we are having tin cars, we are having plastic mobiles. No, she is not talking about that. She is talking about herbs are there, grains are there, trees are there, rivers. Any river today in any part of the world is nasty. You cannot touch the water. Previously, you don't need Bisleri. 10 years ago, before 10-20 years, even we didn't use. Because so much chemicals we have created, we have to think about this, and we will not learn it. Civilization will go to its own destruction. But at least we can look at this instance that there was a natural life. The rivers are flowing. Today's is a carbon footprint, zero carbon footprint civilization. Hills are full of minerals and ocean full of wealth. You see any bird, morning the bird gets up, there are fruits on the top of the tree, it goes and eats it. Little effort is there, nature is providing. When God is maintaining billions of living entities, why cannot it maintain human civilization? As if we have some problem with this. No, sir. We have created such a situation. Life has only 4 problems. Anybody in this world. Food is needed. Correct? Eating. Some place to sleep is needed. Then body has a demand for mating. A partner is needed. And then defending. I have to protect myself from other people. These are the 4 basic demands of any living entity. The joke of today is these 4 things are met very easily by animals compared to us. I still remember when I was a small boy, I was studying in 11th, 12th class. At my home there was a cat. So I used to look at the cat and think, my God, what a life it is having. Such a comfortable life. And I am living with so much anxiety. What if I don't do well in the entrance exam? We have created a civilization. Civilization means Shanti. But we have all the people have to sit and think together, what are we doing today? We have created so much anxiety today just for meeting the 4 demands, which animals are eating with much lesser effort. They don't struggle so much to meet their eating, sleeping, mating, defending. It is not so difficult. But for us, these 4 have become challenged more and more day by day. Ready? Ready? Okay. Let us have the Abhisheka, and after that we will just finish few more verses. Actually, this is the best portion which I like to read from Bhagavatam. Beautiful prayers from Queen Kunti. These books are available. Today we have books in every language available in the exhibition hall. Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam. We got in Malayalam, in Tamil, in Bengali, in Gujarati, in Marathi, any language you name, we got the books. In fact, we have translated this Vedic literature into every language of the world. We cannot find any language we don't have the books. So at least some collection we got for everybody. Our center is in Nantur. If you go from Kaziri towards Nantur, just next to the chef restaurant, we are there. Every Sunday we have special program. You are welcome. And we are starting something special from next Sunday. 6-session course in Gita. Free, no charge. All you need to do is to, when you go to the exhibition hall, when you take your dinner, you can just give your name and some, anything, your email ID, your phone number, we will intimate to you. From next week, we are starting in our center there, a 6-session course on Gita. I welcome all of you. Now we have the Abhisheka. After Abhisheka, I'll complete this week with these prayers. Then we have something which is loved every year, the Jhulan of the Lord. We're going to switch off all the lights. We have a Jhulan and everybody will get a chance to Jhulan for the Lord. Okay, so with that, we will end today's session. Srila Prabhupada ki, Shri Shri Radha Govinda ki.
ईश्वरः परमाकृष्ण सच्चिदानंद विग्रह अनादिरादिर्गोविंद सर्वकारणकारणं चिन्तामणिप्रकरपद्मसुकल्पवृक्ष लक्षावृतेषु सुरभिरभिपालयन्तौ लक्ष्मीशास्त्रशतसङ्क्रमसेवमानं
गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं
अहं भजामि वेणुं
त्वनन्दमरविन्ददलायताक्षं वराहस्तमसुन्दराङ्गं कन्दर्पकोटिकमनीयविशेषशोभं गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं अहं भजामि आलोलचन्द्रकलशहनुमानवंशी रत्नागदं प्रणयकेलिकलाविलासं श्यामं त्रिमङ्गलदं नियतप्रकाशं गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं अहं भजामि अहङ्गारियस्य यस्य सकलेन्द्रियवृत्तिमन्ति पश्यन्ति पान्ति कलयन्ति चिरं जगन्ति आनन्दचिन्मयसदुज्ज्वलविग्रहस्य गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं भजामि। अद्वैतमच्युतमनादिमनन्तरूपम् आद्यं पुराणपुरुषं नवयौवनं च वेदेषु दुर्लभमदुर्लभमात्मभक्तो गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं भजामि। पन्दास्तकोटिशतवत्सरसम्प्रगाम्यो वायोरतापि मनसो मुनिपुङ्गमाना सोऽप्यस्ति यत्र विभृङ्गमसिद्धकरत्वे गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं भजामि। एकोऽप्यसरोदशतं जगदन्तकोटि यच्चक्रिरस्ते जगदन्तचयदनन्तः अन्दान्तरस्तपरमानुचयन्तरस्तं गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं भजामि। यद्भावभावितरियो नम्यस्तदेव सम्प्राप्तरूपमहिमासनयानपूषा शुद्धेय एव निगमाप्रतिते स्तुवन्ति गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं भजामि। आनन्दचिन्मयरसप्रतिभावितानि तामेक एव निजरूपतया कलानि गोलोक एव निवसति अखिलात्मभूतो गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं भजामि। प्रेमान्धनाचरितभक्तिविलोचनेन सन्तासेन विलोकयन्ति यक्षा सुन्दरमचिन्त्य गुणस्वरूपं गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं भजामि। रामादिमूर्तिषु कलायमेन तिष्ठन् नानावतारमकरोतु भुवनेषु किन्तु कृष्णा स्वयं समभवत् परम